Hi everyone! My name is Savannah Beachwave and I'm a 17-year-old horse trainer and rider. At this point in my life, I have gained much success in the equestrian world, from shows, clinics, and getting to work with champion horses. Now my life revolves around horses and my training, but it took a lot to get to this place. My story starts in Yorvik City, specifically Adine's Plaza. I lived in a cozy little home with my mother, father, younger sister Lauren, and our older brother. And then there was our adorable little kitty. Our family definitely wasn't the wealthiest, but we lived comfortably and I was happy. But when I was 6 years old, my father got into a deadly car crash and sadly passed away. I was of course saddened by the loss, but being as young as I was, I didn't really understand the concept of death. I just figured time and the rest of the world just kept going, so I had to as well. After his passing, my mother, siblings, and I moved in with my grandmother, who lived in Moreland. She owned the most adorable little cottage right outside the walls of the main town. Moreland had it all, from beaches to the stables to beautiful trails, breathtaking scenery, and of course helped us escape the heavy price tag that comes with living in the city. Our only fault was that the cottage was extremely small. Growing up, I of course came to visit my grandmother for holidays and other odd occasions, but I never remembered her home being so cramped. After struggling to make it work, my mother finally realized that we'd have a little more trouble adapting to our new lives than we had hoped we would. A few months went by. Life wasn't the easiest, but we made it work. Our family's income had decreased a lot since taking away my father's contribution. My mother began working multiple jobs in order to keep us from going under. And that's where she met Josh. Josh was a part of the Yorvik Cowboys Club, and shortly after meeting, my mother and Josh began dating. At this point, the cottage just wasn't cutting it anymore. We knew we had to move. After my 8th birthday, my mother moved my siblings and I into a relatively large apartment in Fort Pinta. Well, large for an apartment, at least. This is when horses really came into my head. I had a perfect view of the Fort Pinta stables from my bedroom window. I remember watching as the riders led their horses onto the mounting block. The gorgeous strides of the ponies and foals enchanted me. I knew that this is what I needed to do. I begged and begged my mom to start letting me take lessons, but riding is a very expensive sport. I know that now, but as a young girl, I was very angry when she told me she wouldn't be able to afford lessons. But I sucked it up and moved on. Her rejection didn't stop my dreams though, because the idea of Grand Prix and the Olympics still danced in my head. I knew one way or another I was gonna get on a horse. When I turned 9 years old, Josh proposed to my mother and she accepted. Soon after their engagement, Lauren, my mother, and I moved to Starshine Ranch to live with Josh, and my brother went to Epona to study English in college. We moved into a pretty big house on the ranch, and shortly after settling in, Josh offered to teach Lauren and I to ride horses. And now looking back at it, I kind of think it was some master plan to get us to like him more, but in the end it worked because I was absolutely over the moon. And shortly after that, little Savannah Beachwave became the toughest cowgirl there ever was, or at least that's what I thought in my head at the time. I think I forgot to mention that Josh only rode Western, but you know, a horse is a horse. In other words, I was just happy to be in the saddle. But I always had my mind set on one thing, and that was becoming an extraordinary show jumper. Just because I was limited to Western right now didn't mean I was giving up my dreams of the Olympics and Grand Prix. Josh continued to teach Lauren and I how to do Western, and we were starting to be pretty good. I'd be lying if I said it came easily to me. I sure did fall off a few times, but I started getting the hang of it. About 6 months went by and my mother and Josh married. I was starting to get really good at Western, but I soon realized that I'd never really be happy as a pole bender or barrel racer. English will just always be my dream. One summer, Lauren and I went into the town of Fir Grove to get some coffee at the cafe. We did this normally, so nothing was out of the ordinary. Anyways, we sat down and had our coffee, but on our way out we realized that the Fir Grove Riding Academy had just opened up. They were looking for young and eager riders ready to hop on their team and horses and do whatever they could do. This description fit young Savannah and Lauren to a T. When we arrived home that day, we begged and begged and begged our mother and Josh to let us go. And my mother basically shut us down immediately, but luckily Josh was on our side. He let us know that he would talk to some of his connections at the Cowboys Club and see what he could do. This was enough to make me ecstatic. I of course wasn't guaranteed a yes, but I was still happy because I was the closest I had ever been to achieving my dreams of show jumping excellence. A few days later, Josh informed us that he had asked Felicity, the owner of the barn, if Lauren and I could start working there in order to pay for use of the facilities. She agreed, and that summer, Lauren and I started riding at the Fir Grove Equestrian Academy. I began riding English, and it was amazing. I'd be lying if I said there wasn't a bit of a learning curve, but once I got the hang of it, I was soaring, and it was incredible. I could have never been happier than where I was right now. Lauren began to excel in dressage, but we both shared a love of every single English discipline. But show jumping has always been the number one. I began showing like crazy, and I was so happy. But I always wanted to do more with horses. I didn't want to be a vet or anything. I just wanted to be able to do more work with them. And one day my prayers were finally answered. Felicity, the owner of our barn and riding instructor, had a horse that she was training for a client. He was a colt, and he was very, very, very aggressive. Now, she was having a little bit of a hard time and knew that I wanted to get more involved, so she asked if I wanted to have a go at it. I tried it out, and I fell in love with horse training. It took a lot of work, but I finally got through to the colt, and he is now one of the greatest horses I've ever worked with. Felicity was amazed. She recommended me to a few of her friends from other riding clubs, and soon I was in popular demand. I started training horses and started to make a steady income from the job. I soon realized that these odd jobs could actually turn into something really great for my future. My mom and Josh helped me set up a website. This was the start of my journey as a professional horse trainer. I continued my schooling and started to get really popular in the showing world. I was starting to get some real recognition from powerful people in the equestrian community as well, but I felt as if I might have outgrown Fir Grove Equestrian Academy. Although it was an extremely hard decision, I decided that it was time to move on from the little village. Lauren and I moved to Cape West Fishing Village together, and my mom and Josh stayed back to look after the ranch. And that brings us to now. I've just moved to Golden Leaf Stables with my horses Levi and Storm. All my client horses have moved to Golden Leaf Stables as well, and now I'm ready to embark on the newest chapter in my riding journey. I have to prove myself to the girls at the new barn, impress my clients and continue to make progress on their horses, train like crazy for shows and clinics, and manage family and school life. I have no idea how I'm going to juggle it all, but I have to try. And I can't wait to start my new journey with all of you. Welcome to Savannah's Journey. Hi everyone, it's Savannah Beachweave and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So this video, of course, is my new storyline video, and so I worked really hard on it. The filming took place over 3 days, and so I'm so happy to start it with you guys. I am going to be disclosing more information soon and things like that, but this is the opener for it. So I hope you all enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed making it, and if you did enjoy it, make sure to click the like button down below. And if you want to see more of my future videos, make sure to click the subscribe button. Now, if you are subscribed or planning to subscribe, make sure to click the little bell icon down below to be notified every single time I post a new video. All my social medias, as well as my Instagram and Discord, will be linked in the description below and in all of my other videos. I love you all so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys!